What's going on, family? Welcome to a brand new episode of Tariq Radio. I am your host. My name is Tariq Nasheed. Glad to have everybody tuning in. We're going to have a great conversation tonight. So let everybody know that we're broadcasting live right now. Don't you move a muscle, because what we're going to do, we're going to take that real quick commercial break. And when we come right back, we're going to get right into the game right here on Tariq Radio.
Yo, you still ain't getting women? Really? Come on, son. You need to go to badboymembership.com and step up your game. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game, and I'm telling you that if you really want to attract beautiful women, you need to go to badboymembership.com. This is where you get 45 through 90-minute step-by-step dating advice tutorials every month. Just sign up, follow the advice, and you'll get the woman you want. Go to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com.
Are you looking for a 100% natural beard product that cleans the skin under your beard and it stimulates growth? Then check out Beard Tree Oil and Herbs, LLC. They promote healthy beards over everything. They offer a full line of products including beard and face wash, balm oil, mist, and detox. So treat yourself to the Beard Tree 3 package, which includes the wash, balm, oil for just $25. For best results, check out the Beard Tree 5 that includes all 5 products for just $50. So check this out, all at beardtreeoilandherbs.com. That's beardtreeoilandherbs.com, or follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Beard Tree Oils and Herbs. What's up? Are you a fan of hip-hop and self-help and personal development? Then check out my man Poe at Poe Politicking. Founded in 2008, Poe Politicking is a self-help meets hip-hop brand. And with each interview, they teach the babies and they share success secrets with you, the listener. Past guests of the show includes Jay Prince, Yo Gotti, Currency, MC Light, Dead Prez, rapper Big Pooh, and many more. Poe Politicking has featured over 500 guests on his show. Poe Politicking also showcases a lot of the up-and-coming new artists in the game. So subscribe right now on iTunes and Spotify, and follow Poe Politicking on social media at Poe Politicking. Yo, cupcake season is right around the corner, family, and you need to get your fragrance game all up in order. So you need to check out ashkickin.com. That's a black-owned business that sells all natural health and beauty products, and it also has fragrance products. You can get beauty products such as body butter, hair moisturizer, face moisturizer, unique incense burners, incense sticks, scented candles, and so much more. So again, you need to check out ashkickin, that's KICKIN.com.
The year is 2079. The futuristic nation of New Albion has been created to maintain a new racial apartheid system. There is a planned genocide that is going to target the nation's black population. A small group of black revolutionaries band together to launch guerrilla warfare attacks against their oppressors. Do they fail, or do they succeed? Find out the answer by reading the book Avoid the Machines, the new novel by author Scotty Vasco. Avoid the Machines, now available on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com.
You are now tuning in to the King of Game, Tariq Elite, on Tariq Elite Radio.
I am delivered! Yo, what's going on, family? Welcome back. We're live. Thank you for tuning in. A lot of stuff we're going to talk about on tonight's broadcast. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody who purchased the Macish package sale we had going on. Oh, it was a lot of them. And we're still getting them out, so you guys stay tuned. We got your packages coming out. So many people ordered in the last couple of days. So shout out to everybody who did that. Your packages are coming, and I really appreciate you. So let's just get right into what we're going to talk about on tonight's broadcast. You know, we got the Tangibles 2020 movement mixed in with the ADOS movement, mixed in with the Reparations movement. Everybody's on code on a grassroots level. As you know, we have been on code, all of you, all of the Melanoid 300, all of the foundational Black Americans, all of the Black descendants of American slaves, all of you have been on code, all of us have been on code, and we have shaken the foundation of the dominant society during this election cycle. We've done something that has not been done in a long time. We are staying consistent as we are on code. And that's the name of the game, being very consistent and persistent. And family, we got to understand, we got to stay this way for a long time. We got to look at the long game. We got to be on code and consistent and ready to ride like this for a long time before we do any victory laps. Because a lot of times when Black folks do something, we'll get one gain and then we'll want to do a 50-year victory lap. And while we're doing a victory lap, the people, our oppressors, have caught up with us and came up with a new game and a new scam and a new swindle. So the thing is, we got to look at this from a long-term perspective and stay on the grind. We got to bury our feet down, and we're going to stick with this for a long time. We got to be persistent with the movement. We got to be persistent about looking out for ourselves, getting tangibles 2020, and not just for 2020, tangibles from this damn point on. The tangibles are not going to stop in 2020, family. We're going to be tangible driven from this point on for ADOL. We have taken off the capes. We are taking off the wings, being everybody's angels and saviors. We're not doing that no more. We're going to save ourselves. We're going to be the angels for ourselves. And now a lot of people are crying foul. We have held strong. The white supremacists have sent the Boule, their minions, to try to discredit us. Remember, just last week, and a few weeks ago, but just last week, the Boule had all their minions talking down on the ADOS Tangibles 2020 movement. When Kamala Harris, who's Boule connected, she's with the links. When we talk about the Boule, that includes the links. That's the female version of the Boule. Remember when Kamala Harris came out, we criticized her record. We criticized her lack of having an agenda for foundational Black Americans, and her campaign is basically fizzling out. They've sent their Boule minions like Roland, Angela Rye, Simone Sanders, Mark Morial. All of these people were talking greasy about us criticizing their candidates. And Roland and Mark and Angela were talking greasy about ADOS, talking about descendants of African slavery or American slavery circling their wagons. They were talking slick about it. Mark Morial just did. He's a Boule member of the Urban League. He runs the Urban League. He pays himself millions of dollars. They give him big money to really keep Black folks pacified. And he just did a speech talking down on Black people claiming ADOS, giving the same nonsensical argument about slavery was here and there was colonialism. Just a bunch of Sambo babble that has nothing to do with the ADOS movement. Shout out to Christine's World in the chat room. Angela Rye, a couple of weeks ago, she was talking about ADOS is a bunch of Russian bots. Roland was talking about the whole bots, Russian bots, talking down on ADOS, talking down on foundational Black Americans, doing the same Sambo babble about slavery being in the Caribbean, colonialism in Africa. Hair Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, they were immigrants. He was doing all that, remember? So now the Democrats see that we're not going to stop with this. They sent out Bernie Sanders. People have been hitting Bernie Sanders up with the reparations thing, making him stammer and stumble. Bernie Sanders was asked about reparations at the town hall, and he was stammering about it, giving non-answers. And this one sister, who's an independent reporter, she caught him on the fly, ran up to him with the camera and said, "Hey, Bernie, what's up with the reparations?" And then he ran off without saying nothing. So, that was a bad look. They see how bad they're looking now, the Democrats, when it comes to dealing with this reparations thing. And they don't have any momentum from black voters, and they need black voters. And black voters, we're like, okay, we need the bag. We gonna need that bag. We're not trying to hear Bernie babble. We're not trying to hear Sambo babble. All these people you bring in front of us, we're gonna need the bag. Now, we got to be very careful about a lot of techniques and strategies they're using, because they're not going to give in easily. They're already trying all their little trick bag language, trick bag strategies, sending the Boule our way. Also, this woman, this white lady, Marianne Williamson. Now, she's a Democrat who's going around talking about reparations. A lot of people have pointed her out. Now, she is a Democrat. She's going around speaking about, yes, black people have been mistreated and black people should get reparations. Now, we got to be careful because of her. We got to be very careful because of her, because she just might be a Democratic Planet decoy. I don't trust anything these people are doing if they're not really bringing it. See, the thing is, they know with black folks, long as somebody is somewhat sympathetic towards us, we'll be satisfied with that. I'm not satisfied with Marianne Williamson going around talking about our plight. Let me tell you something, folks. We're going to have to get this mindset. You don't get a C for effort. I only want to deal with people in the dominant society who has the power and the momentum to actually do something. I don't need no goddamn sympathy or sympathetic voice out there for us. And the Marianne Williamson, she doesn't really have a chance. She's not really a serious contender. She doesn't have any real momentum. And the Democrats somewhat know that. See, let's not be fooled. Just because somebody's running around saying, yes, I believe you guys. Yeah, you guys really need to get reparations. And they have no momentum or no backing and no way of getting it. I don't want to waste my time with that person. And again, that person could be a plant. So now, if black folks say the Democrats haven't offered us anything, they can point to her and say, hey, she offered reparations, but she just didn't have the support. If she had the support, y'all could have got it. But she's a Democrat, so see, some of the Democrats care. So don't abandon the Democrats altogether. Some of the Democrats care about you. You see what I'm saying? Wink, wink, and they'll be winking to each other. It's just like a lot of people I see online. Sometimes you'll see a white person with 30 followers talking about, I believe some of the police should go to jail. You got 30 damn followers. You're a nobody. I don't want a nobody sitting up here sympathizing with me. Who are the people who's going to put some power behind their words? I don't want sympathy. I want action. And the forerunners and the front runners who's out here, you're going to have to step it up. Don't push no damn Marianne Williamson out there to holler about some damn reparations and none of y'all are backing her. Nobody's really backing her in large numbers. We want the people who's being backed with that big money to put reparations on the table and do something about it. Now that they see that reparations is a real issue and we're not going away from that, they're starting to use the word reparations now. Elizabeth Warren, she used the term reparations, but then she tried to trick bag it up talking about how Native Americans should get it too. which Native Americans already get reparations. Also, I'm not sharing any reparations with the same people who enslaved us. We need reparations because they were some of the people who enslaved us and didn't pay us. And there are treaties with Native Americans where they are supposed to pay the freedmen that were connected with the tribe, and they still haven't paid. Do not allow them to get a conversation going with Black, ADOS, and Native Americans. It's a trick bag. See, we're going to have to start shoving our weight around, family. We're going to have to dictate the direction and the conversation about reparations. You understand? And they are going to try to trick us and trip us up any way they can. Now that they're using the terms reparations, Nancy Pelosi, this came out today. There's an article in The Hill. Nancy Pelosi, she supports the study for reparations. She supports a bill to study the issues of reparations. Watch these trick words. They want to get a commission going to study reparations. This is pacifist language. We don't need them to study anything. We need them to put some policies together, and we need them to make it happen. Watch the words, watch the language, family. These people have nothing but trick bag language they try to hit us up with. Let me read some of the article. Nancy Pelosi said Wednesday she supports a bill that would establish a commission to study and consider reparations for African Americans regarding slavery. Look at all of that trick bag language already. We're going to get a commission, meaning the Boule. That's who they're going to try to get, and that's something we're going to reject. That's something major, family. We cannot let the Boule be a part of that conversation. Because remember, the Boule, all of them were the main ones talking down on ADOS just a week ago. Remember that? Let me read some more of this article. It says the resolution, which was introduced last year by Rep. Sheila Jackson, currently has 35 co-sponsors, though Pelosi's backing could help lead to more widespread support among the House Democratic caucus. The Democratic leader tried, this is very important. This is Pelosi talking. Pelosi tied studying reparations to a litany of other issues involving inequality, including affordable education, healthcare, among other issues. Sit your ass down with that. See, when you start reading into it, then they put the trick bag language in it. What they want to do is throw out a bunch of intangibles and tie reparations to it. No. Family, we're going to have to stay on that ass and let them know we reject this. No, you're not going to tie a bunch of intangible gibberish, a bunch of rising tides lift all boats language. No, we're not doing that. We mean tangibles. No tangibles, no vote. No study groups, no commissions, none of that stuff. Now everybody act like they don't know what to do when it comes to reparations. Everybody's acting all confused now. We're going to have to reject all the trick bag language they're using. Now that the white Democrats are using the term reparation, now they have the Boule using the term reparation. And not only that, the Boule is now trying to take credit for the conversation. Let me let y'all hear something. This was just on CNN. I think it was today. This was Simone Sanders, who's Boule connected with the links. Let me show y'all something. Hold on one second. That's Simone Sanders. If you're looking at the screen right now, the Links organization commemorated her. They gave her some kind of award. So she's clicked in with the Links, the Boule. She's all clicked in with that. You there? So that's Simone Sanders. Now listen, this is her on CNN. Listen to this.
Look, I think the conversation, one, I'd like to note the only reason we're having a conversation about reparations is right now is because Steed, a very good reporter from the New York Times, got all of these candidates on the record in a New York Times story, and then also kudos to the Root for the reporting that they did. So the press secretary in me is like, I don't know if
Did y'all hear that? Simone Sanders gave credit to the damn Root. I'm like, Soulja Boy, the Root? Really? They're trying to give props to the damn Root for us talking about reparations. You're a damn liar. Really?
Secretary in me is like, I don't know if we should answer the inquiry. But I will say,
me too. I'm like, oh,
right,
man,
come on now.
Reparations, that's a tough one. It's been going on for
is like, I don't know if
they on there just cacaing and kikiing, lying and cacaing and kikiing like this is something that they've done. They on there, I like to think they taking their little victory lap as if this is something that they've done. They were just talking down on Black Americans campaigning for reparations, Black Americans talking about being descendants of slaves. These people were just talking down on it last week.
Record in a New York Times story, and then also kudos to the Root for the reporting that they did.
The Root? Jason Johnson of The Root was just talking greasy a couple of days ago about ADOS. Family, this is why you see I'm always hell on the Boule. I'm hell on the Boule and the links because they're so full of it. These Negroes, they done an about face because white mommy and white daddy has now adopted the terminology that we're using, and now they're going to try to make it seem like their little Negro minions came up with the terms and they're the ones in the forefront of this movement. No, they are not. These Negroes are not, and we have to call them out and do not let them get in. Be a part of the conversation whatsoever. We do not let them get into the conversation. All they are going to do is steer the conversation into deflective issues. We do not let the Boule and any of their minions be a part of this conversation. They've already stated their position last week and the week before. They were talking down on it. And remember, many of these cats in the Boule, they get their butter biscuits and their kickbacks for keeping Black folks pacified. Also, many of them are descendants of immigrants as well. So once they get in the mix, they're going to muddy the waters. We cannot let them get in the mix. And hell, a few weeks ago, when everybody was calling out Kamala's policies, let me show y'all what Simone was talking about. When Luther Campbell did an article in Miami Times talking about Kamala Harris's record, Simone Sanders was like, well, Uncle Luke is no political mastermind or strategist. Why do Black men keep popping up with their unsolicited opinions about Kamala Harris? This was Simone a few damn weeks ago. That's one of them Black men haters, that whole Shea Butter, the Root, Ebony, Boule, the white daddy ass kissing crowd. She's part of that. These people should absolutely not be in a part of the conversation about any reparations. That whole Shea Butter crowd. Shame on these people. That's shameless. They were doing everything they can to talk down on the movement. So again, family, we got to be on top of our game. We got to watch the trick bag language. And also, a lot of people in the dominant society, when it comes to reparations for foundational Black Americans, everybody tries to act confused. Like, well, how does this work? I mean, I never had a slave. We're hearing a lot of that language. Well, look, I never harmed Native Americans, yet my tax dollars and your tax dollars, Black people, it goes to pay them billions of dollars on a regular basis. Native Americans get all types of money. I never done anything to a Native American, yet my tax dollars go to help them. Not only that, we were enslaved by Native American tribes, and we still have to use our tax dollars to pay them, but when it's time for us to get compensated, well, we don't know what to do. Do the same damn thing you're doing for them. That's what you do. all that we don't know how to do it. They know how to do it when it comes to giving Jewish people money, people who were connected, who was descendants of people connected to the Holocaust. They know how to give them money. When the Japanese were in internment camps in the 1940s, 40 years later, they broke them off. They gave Japanese families money over here, and the Japanese, their home country, bombed the U.S. Their home country dropped a bomb on the damn U.S., and Japanese people still got compensation for being in internment camps for 3 years, because that's really how long it was. They were in those internment camps for a couple of years and got broke off. Don't let nobody tell y'all that it's impossible, black folks. They do it all the damn time. Y'all need to know this, and you need to throw this in their damn faces, and you need to ring the bell and beat the drum of this on a regular basis. They can do it if they want to, and they're going to want to, because we're going to make them do it. Or we're going to drop out of the electoral process, and that's a problem. Because they understand once people start dropping out of the electoral process, well, you know, that's the seeds of rebellion right there. Once people feel like they're marginalized to the point where they don't even need to participate in the system, now you're breeding a rebellious group. They know that. So they're trying their damnedest to try to include us. That's why when they come around us, they use all that divisive, well, not divisive, but all this inclusive language. We all got to be together. We all got to love each other. It becomes an emotional thing. We don't want no emotions. We want tangibles. Japanese got broke off, and some are still getting broke off. Hell, those families from 9/11, whose families were killed in the tower or who were affected by those killed in the tower in 9/11, 2001, they get reparations. Do y'all know that? The families get all types of payoffs. Some of those families get millions of dollars. Some of those 9/11 families, they get government-backed money that goes into the millions. I'm talking about individual families. There's some families got like $7 million. Some of these families get big money for a one-day terror attack. But we've been having a terror attack for 400 years, and everybody acts confused when it comes to us. No, y'all not confused. Y'all need to figure it out and make it happen. I don't want no damn commission. We got to get a commission and a study group, and then we're going to get an investigation group. Nah, make it happen. And we're going to make them make it happen. Again, because they can't force us to vote for them. We can sit this thing out however long we need to sit it out. We can sit it out as long as we need to. This is what we should have been doing a long time ago. All that we need to vote because Negroes got beat up in Selma. We've been falling for that banana in the tailpipe for a long time, and I've been telling people for years, it's more strategic to hold out your vote and sit on it until they actually bring you something. Use your vote as a weapon. Last year, I had the Don't Vote campaign. I was criticized highly because of that, but there's a strategy to it. We can't just keep voting for people and voting against our interests. Whenever we vote without us getting something, by default, we're voting against our interests. And not only are we not getting anything, we're voting for people to come harm us. We're voting for immigration. Immigration harms us. We're voting for LGBT tangibles and benefits, and they turn around and practice the same racism against us. So voting against our own interests, it keeps harming us. And don't let them run these garbage excuses on you. There are people talking about, well, we could pay the Indians and some of the Jewish people because, it's not that many of them, and it's so many black people, and that would be too much of a financial burden. Well, let me tell you something. You know what else was a financial burden? Working hundreds of years for free without getting paid. That was a financial burden. See, we're not going to keep bearing the brunt of all the damn burdens. It's a burden unless we got to carry it. No. All that free damn labor was a burden. The poverty passed down from that labor was a burden. Black folks getting out of slavery, putting their money in the freedmen's banks, and the banks taking their money, that was a damn burden. the black codes was a burden. Jim Crow was a burden. Redlining was a burden. Housing discrimination was a burden. Job discrimination was a burden. Having to get your brains bashed in for basic civil rights to drink at a goddamn water fountain was a burden. Gentrification is a burden. So yeah, everybody's gonna have to share some burden here if we're gonna talk about what a fucking burden is. We're not gonna be the only people, we're the sacrificial lambs, and we gotta sit up here being burdened while everybody else is eating good and living right, and we have to accept our lot as being a downtrodden, burdened people. No, those days are over. That is over, family. And we gotta stand on our square about that. We fought in every single war in this country. There are people who have fought against this country who get more tangible benefits than us. There is no black version of the Alamo. You had Mexicans fighting against the United States. Remember the Alamo. You had Native Americans fighting against the United States. Black people have never fought against the United States. There is no black version of Pearl Harbor. Yet the Japanese, the people who bombed this country, they got paper. There is no black version of 9/11. And the US still got all types of ties to Middle Eastern countries and Saudi Arabia. Trump does. He's all clicked in with those people. The same country whose so-called terrorists have hit this country, these folks still do business with them. Black folks have never bombed this country. We protected this country from every single thing, from every single war. So no, they're not gonna put us to the side. No, we're gonna have to stand up for ourselves. The kumbaya time is over. Everybody else they're gonna have to hold their nuts. This is us now. Our time is now. We keep having to push everybody to the forefront, and then we get this hope thing. That's what Obama, that whole thing, well, I'm gonna bring some hope. Damn hope. It's nope, nope, nope. Y'all hold your nuts. We're not doing that. I have a dream and I got some hope. And no. We want some tangibles. The dreaming and the hoping is over. I want some tangibles. And people, now I'm arguing people on social media, white people. Well, I think y'all should get reparations in the form of education. Educate these nuts. I don't want no damn education. Give me some tangibles. You don't bring education to the Native Americans, they get casinos and land. You didn't bring education to the Jewish community, they get big checks. You didn't bring education to the Japanese, you gave them big money. When it comes to us, all of a sudden, it's nigga trinkets. Well, we're gonna give you education, free tuition at a HBCU. Fuck all that. No. No, thank you. It's Tangibles 2020, baby. We gonna need the bag this time. We want tangibles. We want the bag. Give me the gold. I wants the gold. Now, watch out for the trick bag language, family. Watch out for a lot of trick bag language that they try to bring to us when it comes to reparations talk. Watch out for the words minority. When you see the word people of color, trick bag. Anytime they come at us with these words, you reject it. Diversity, it's a trick bag. We don't want no trick bag language. We want very clear, concise, specific language. Black American descendants of slaves, foundational Black Americans, specifically us. But minority, people of color, inequality, diversity, those are trick words. Distressed communities, that's what Bernie Sanders was trying to use the other day. We ain't going for that either. Distressed communities, nah, no Bernie. Sit down, Bernie. Disproportionately affected, no. When you hear that word, it's a trick word. Or you hear that term, that's a trick term. Criminal reform, nope. You ain't talking about us. Also, when they start talking about HBCUs, nope. You got whites and Hispanics and all types of immigrants going to HBCUs, nope. No. We ain't doing that. Inclusive, we ain't using that. Native American, black and brown, we ain't going for that one either. They'll say black and then slip brown and then no. Remember, anything they slip in there along with us, it's going to work against us 100%. All they need to do is just slip in one little term, one little word, and get us to agree with it, and it's all going to hell. You got to watch every word, family. That's how we stay on code. Every single word we have to watch. That's why stop using all of these words that I just named. All that trickle down, well, this is going to disproportionately affect. No. Watch all these little trick words. Black and brown, nope. Because then everybody's going to be brown and they're going to start funneling them in. Nope. Also another term we got to reject, black leaders. Whenever they say black leaders, reject that term. There are no black leaders. There are no black leaders. Do you understand me? Whenever the white supremacists come around us talking about reparations and black leaders, no, reject it, because black leader means Boule. When they say black leader, they mean Boule. I'm gonna say that again. I want y'all to drill this in your brain. When they say black leader, they mean Boule. That means a Negro from the Boule that they've already vetted. Notice most people now, whoever they call a black leader, almost 100% of the time is some Negro from the Boule. To this day, Jesse Jackson is Boule, Sharpton is Boule, all these guys, Boule. Whenever they funnel somebody out there, it's some Boule Negro. That's all that. Boule and black leader is the same thing. We got to be very, 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 very careful about these words they're throwing at us. And unfortunately, Dr. King was Boule, by the way, too. John Lewis is Boule. That's why you see John Lewis all over the place. They love bringing John Lewis out there to talk about his Selma ass whoopings. Wasn't he on they had him on the Oscars? They had him on the Oscars. And I didn't even watch it, but I saw a still shot of him. I'm like, why'd they bring him on the Oscars? Oh my God. Wakanda remind me of Selma. I got beat with vibranium. I mean, what the hell was he talking about on the Oscars? Oh. But again, watch this trick bag language. And speaking of the Oscars, by the way, did y'all see that black man they kept parading around in that dress? He was his name, Billy Porter. I think that was that brother's name. They kept parading that brother around in a dress. He was out there in a dress, and white folks was just all, oh, he's so fierce. Oh, he's so great. Oh, he's the best. Oh, they were just really in awe of this black man sashaying around in a dress. And my dude who plays Paperboy on the Atlanta show, they had him in a dress in some kind of skit they did. But this Billy Porter dude, the brother they had running around in a dress, and I asked white people on Twitter, I said, why are y'all so excited to see a black man in a dress? Nobody could really answer. I had a couple of bedwenches and coons jumping trying to answer for white mommy, white daddy. But that's a part of the buck breaking that the white supremacist likes to do. They parade us around in the world stage in a dress. That's buck breaking, family. And let me tell you something. They would never, on a stage like that, they don't parade white men in dresses like that. The only time you see a white man being paraded around in a dress like that is if it's an LGBT type of event. If it's that type of event, yeah. But an event like that, they don't have a white man doing that. They do not have a white man doing that. Because they know in the dominant white society, white people don't really play that. White folks in the dominant society, they don't play that. They don't do that with white men, but they're comfortable with a black man doing that. See, we got to understand when people are trying to buck break us. And also, remember at the Oscars, they kept trying to, oh, the black women are doing big things. Whenever they try to do that gender separation thing, trying to separate black men and black women and pull black women to the side and give them extra fake props. That's another trick bag game, family. that fake prop that they try to give black women. That's the way to try to break us up. See, that's just an attack on the black family. Because see, when black men and women get together like we're doing with the ADOS movement and the Tangibles 2020 movement, when we get together, we put in work. We become a threat. So notice whenever we start coming together as a black man and black woman family and start making moves, they go out of their way to try to separate us. They go out of their way to say, okay, look, if you put on a dress, we'll give you all types of props if you let us buck break you. And the dress almost had a plantation look to it. And I want y'all to understand, during slavery, that dress thing, putting brothers in dresses, that was very common for them to do. I want y'all to listen to something real quickly. There were a lot of slaves who were alive in America up until the 1950s. Do y'all know that? There were a lot of black people who were enslaved. Many of them were alive up until the 1950s, some to the 60s. As a matter of fact, the oldest person who was enslaved in America who died, the oldest slave died in 1971. Did y'all know that? There's a brother named Sylvester McGee. This brother fought in the Civil War. He lived down in Mississippi, I think. But Sylvester McGee died in 1971. The brother was 130 years old. So you had people in our lifetime still alive who were enslaved. So when people try to make it seem like, oh, that was just, a million years ago. No, you got slaves who just died less than 50 years ago. Yes, Sylvester McGee, look at him. But there's another brother, in the 1940s, the Library of Congress, they went around and they would interview ex-slaves. And one brother, his name was Fountain Hughes, and he did an interview. And he talked about how they would have to wear dresses as boys. Listen to this. I want y'all to listen to this, brother. Listen.
Yes, many times I stumped my toes and blood run out of them. That didn't make them buy me no shoes. And I've been, you wore a dress like a woman till I believe 10, 12, 13 years old.
So you wore a dress, Phil?
Yes, I didn't wear no pants because it didn't make boys pants. Boys wore dresses. Now the women's wearing the dresses and the boys are going with the women's wearing the pants now and the boys wearing the dresses still.
Who did you work for, Uncle Fountain?
Who did I work for?
Okay, but yeah, this brother who was enslaved, he was like, yeah, the boys had to wear dresses. They didn't make boys pants, so they put us in dresses. So, there's a lot of stuff that went on in slavery that's just not talked about. So understand that buck breaking process, putting brothers in dresses, that's some slave shit. That's some stuff that came from slavery, how they would break you. Because look, they knew how to make boys pants, but that was a way to break down their manhood, to put boys in dresses. There's a lot of stuff about slavery that's just not talked about. That's not really written about. You got to listen to some of these slave narratives because we don't know the half of the stuff that went down on these plantations. And another thing, did y'all hear how the brother was talking? Notice a lot of black people who were enslaved, when you actually hear their voices, they were pretty well spoken and articulate from the way white people usually portray them. Have y'all noticed that? Many black people who were enslaved, because I'm a historian, so I listen to and I study a lot of these documents and these recordings. Many of these people who were enslaved, who couldn't read or write, were very well spoken. They weren't talking like white people were acting like they were talking. When you read how white people wrote it down, it was always, I went to the store to get me some foods to eat. It's always some extreme broken English when white folks write it down. But when you talk to them, you don't hear that. Or when you listen to them, you don't hear that. Just like Sojourner Truth, that Ain't I a Woman speech, how the white people make it seem like I's a woman, I's works hard and eats, and my feet be hurting so hard. Sojourner Truth didn't talk like that because, number one, she wasn't from the South. She was from the North, and she spoke Dutch until she was like 9 or 10 or something like that. But I picked up on that a while ago. I was watching a documentary about the civil rights movement, and they would have different people read quotes of certain black civil rights people. And a white man read a quote by Dr. King, and when he read the quote sounded like some Amos and Andy shit. I'm like, whoa, what is that? He was like, one day I feels like little black boys and little black gals are gonna have a good time together. Dr. Martin Luther King, 1968. I said, whoa, Dr. King didn't talk like that. So I picked up on that a long time ago, that white folks be putting their own stereotypes on our voices. That's what Amos and Andy was about. They love that. That kind of makes white supremacists feel good about themselves, to feel that black folks talk in this extreme broken English. And let me tell you something. Negroes talking all goofy and extreme broken English, that's a fairly new phenomenon. Negroes got that from white people. I want you to look at old footage of black folks from like the 1950s and the 1960s. You don't see black folks talking about, "Shout, I got to go up there to the stove. I got to get on up there." You don't see black folks talking like that then. You don't see black people talking like that. Look, I grew up in Alabama. I went to school in Alabama as a kid. That's why a lot of people, when they hear me talk, they don't like, "You lived in Alabama? You don't sound like that." No, nobody in my family talks like, "Hey, I was going to go to the stove. I got to get down there and get me something to eat. A pig feet sandwich is so good." Nobody in my damn family in Alabama talks like that. You understand? So a lot of Negroes who do talk like that, they done picked that up from some damn white supremacists. They got that from the Amos and Andy stereotypes that was passed down. You dig? But the thing is, the point is, them trying to prop up black men in dresses, trying to get you to look outside of the black family, because what they want you to do is to not create a black family, get into a relationship with a white man, and you be his woman if you're a man. And they try to separate sisters from the black family. They try to pretend that they're giving you props, and fortunately, sisters are smart enough to not go for that, because sisters understand, especially dealing with these white women, that they have so much secret contempt for you, they can barely hide it, especially if you're a decent looking sister. See, most sisters are smart enough not to go for that trick bag. So that's why you notice a lot of the bed wenches and mammies who let the white women co-opt them, it's usually them homely, hard in the face bed wenches and mammies who make up shea butter Twitter. Because if you're a decent looking sister, white women look at you as competition, and you can feel the hatred. White women are very slick towards halfway decent looking sisters, and I always talk about, on daytime television shows, you notice it's always, on some of these shows, it's a bunch of somewhat model-esque white women, but the black woman always has to be a mammy, homely, overweight. You understand? They always got to have that. They always got to have the overweight sister in the mix of a bunch of white women. Like with The View, they had Star Jones on there. And then, they keep replacing them with women who have somewhat of a plantation mammy vibe. And again, remember when Oprah lost all that weight, her ratings went down. White women didn't want to see a skinny Oprah. So now Oprah's competition now. So they don't like no black woman. White women like a homely black woman around them. That's why the Me Too movement, the white women who run that, they love Tarana Burke. No shade, Tarana Burke, I'll just say she's not model-esque. I'll say that and leave it there. But that's why they have a Tarana Burke parading her around. They love her. The white women love bringing her around. They love bringing Tarana Burke around. She is not a threat whatsoever. They parade her around every chance they get. She is their mascot. But let me tell you something. Those same women groups, Look at the way they treat Tarana Burke and the way they treat Tamika Mallory. Now, Tamika Mallory, she's kind of clicked in with some of those groups, and she was going to be at the Women's March. Now, Tamika Mallory is a beautiful ass sister. Tamika Mallory is a nice fly sister, beautiful sister. Them white women are always trying to reprimand Tamika Mallory, trying to tell her she needs to distance herself from certain people, trying to tell her she needs to repudiate Farrakhan. Why she with this person? Why you with that person? Look at how they treat Tamika Mallory. Look at how they treat her. See, those white women, when it comes to a fly sister, they always got to poke and prod and reprimand and make her get in her place. You dig? Oh, Tamika's a beautiful sister. Beautiful and smart, so that's a threat. So when she comes in the room, all eyes are on her, and all white men's eyes are on her too. You understand? So the white women are like, oh, hell no. No, we need to put her in her damn place. Yeah, Tamika, she's the business. They're like, get Tamika's ass out of here and call Tarana Burke so I can feel good about my damn self. You dig? But we got to understand, look, we got to stay on code. We got to stay 100% on point. Don't let these people, when it comes to us getting our tangibles, all this fake confused, like they don't know what to do. Well, how would reparations even work? How would it work? I mean, is it going to be money, or is it going to, where's the money going to come from? Is it going to be a payout? I mean, how long do we do it? I mean, what's it going to entail? So everybody's confused all of a sudden when it comes to us getting tangibles. Well, notice they're not confused when it comes to laws and policies to harm black people. Nobody's confused about that. When it comes to blue laws, after the police then shot up all our kids, they're not confused about that. When it comes to gang injunctions, they're not confused about that. When it comes to all-in laws to harm black people, they're not confused about that. When it comes to 3 strikes and mass incarceration and gentrification, they're not confused about that. They know exactly what to damn do to harm us. When it comes to rezoning districts so we don't get tax incentives, so the property value can go down, because once they didn't rezone the tax bracket, they know exactly what to do to harm us. So all they got to do, you want to know what to do for reparations? Reverse all the stuff you did to harm us. Do everything in reverse. When you took land, give it back. You took employment opportunities, create them. You took money from the freedmen's banks, give it back. You took all that free labor and the wealth from that labor and passed it down generationally, give it back. And another thing, because I hear a lot of people in the dominant white society say this, and DJ Vlad likes saying this. Hey, man, my family came over from Russia. Hey, man. DJ Vlad, I hear him saying that. He likes saying that. Man, hey, my family came over after slavery, man. You know, they came over. My family came over from Russia after slavery. Let me tell you something. All y'all immigrant families, the white ones who came over after slavery, you came over and benefited from all of the wealth from the free labor of African people. So you came over and ate off of us. And therefore, you're responsible because you're part of this government. The government is responsible for what happened to black people because we could not get out of slavery. We could not get out of Jim Crow because of the government. If you come and you're part of the government, then you are responsible. Miss me with that. I never owned a slave. I never owned a Native American, yet my tax dollars go to pay for the reparations that go to them. Miss me with this dumbass talk. These people are playing dumb, and they hope that you're dumb. If you are white, you came over here and got all types of free benefits. I don't want to hear nobody talking about, well, black folks just want a handout. We ain't getting no handout. Us working all those years for free, and you're eating off of it, is a handout. When whites came over here from Europe, all you had to do was go to the Western cities or the Western states, and you would get free land with the Homestead Act. All you had to do is show up and you got free land. There were all types of handouts for people classified as white. All types of jobs waiting on you simply because you were white. All types of home loans and home grants given to you just because you were white. Jim Crow was a handout for white people. That's all it was. It was affirmative action for white people. Don't ever let them run this, y'all just want a handout game. Nobody gets more handouts than damn white supremacists. They eat off this government every damn chance they get. White supremacy is all about getting free handouts and unearned benefits. That's what makes white supremacy what it is. And they know that. The white supremacists, some of them are some of the laziest motherfuckers you ever want to meet in your life. They can't do nothing unless there's a system of inequality helping their ass. And they know that. That's why they hate the thought of competing on an equal scale. That's why anything that requires equality, they lose. Anything that starts off on equal footing, especially with us, they lose. You dig? So we got to understand the game and not let them run those trick bags on us. And to my Caribbean and African brothers, y'all know what it is. We don't want to hear no BS from y'all because we're getting a lot of coon babble from a lot of my brothers and sisters from the Caribbean and Africa. Y'all trying to be on some, well, y'all, it seemed like y'all against us. I was doing a live stream last night. Some sister called up. Y'all seem like y'all against us. No, you're just gonna have to hold your own nuts. We're not against you. And then some of y'all start talking about, well, ADOS, man, that sounds like xenophobia. Y'all being xenophobic. Xenophobic to who? Africans and Caribbeans? Let me tell you something. By definition, we can't be xenophobic towards you because we wouldn't know if you were African or Caribbean unless you specified it. So we can't be xenophobic because you would have to specify that you were somewhat different from us. We don't look at people from no damn tribe and group. The only reason we know that you are African or Caribbean is because you made a point to distance yourself from us. Do you understand that? That's the only way we would know. You made a point to distance yourself. When we see other black folks, we like, that's just another brother. But then some of y'all go out your way and be like, hey, I ain't no brother, I'm Ethiopian. I ain't no black. I ain't black, I'm Somalian. I ain't black, I'm Dominican. I ain't black, I'm Puerto Rican. You go out of your way to differentiate yourself from us. That's the only way we know you ain't black American. So ain't no xenophobia on this side of the aisle. You dig? So you're gonna have to hold your own nuts. That's all we're saying. And be glad that you're gonna hold your nuts. You dig? There's nothing wrong with that. But again, family, we gotta stay on the grind. We gotta stay on this thing real heavy. We cannot lose focus. We cannot get off our square. We cannot let the Boule try to hijack the conversation because that's what they're trying to do. We got to stay in the forefront of it, and we got to set the tone and the standards and the requirements of it, and it has to be on a 100% grassroots level. We reject the Boule even being a part of it. All these Negroes you see on the screen and all of the minions around them, do not let them control the conversation. They're going to steer it in the gutter. They're going to steer it in the gutter. Anyway, y'all, that's been today's episode of Tariq Radio. Go to TariqElite.com, get some of the shirts. Go to HiddenColorsFilm.com to get the Hidden Colors 1, 2, 3, 4 package, including the 1804 DVD. Y'all follow me on Instagram at Tariq Elite. Follow me on Twitter at Tariq Nasheed. I will holler at you guys this Sunday on the regular Sunday show. Holla.